Hey, what's going on, everybody? How is it going? My name is Darby Rollins. We are live here for the next few minutes. Just want to kind of jump into conversion AI with you guys real quick. I'm going to pull my screen up here on the side, and I want to show you all. Let's pull this up. I want to show you guys a little bit of what I'm seeing with the introduction of the new blog post conclusion paragraph. So I've been playing around with this a little bit this morning in the context of the Writing with Jarvis book that I'm working on. And I think it's really, really handy and a great addition to the template set for the blog post conclusion paragraph, because one of the problems that I've seen, and I know a lot of people have experienced when they're getting into conversion AI in Jarvis, is he can either repeat himself a lot, or it'll start a thought that sounds really good and it just kind of like tails off or doesn't really have any meat to it. And it sounds like he opens it and then it kind of trails off and then starts a new thought there. And so what I wanted to kind of show is, like, in the context of a book, and how, whether it's an ebook or you've got a blog post that you want to turn into an ebook or a full-blown book, physical editions and whatnot, how to kind of use these blog post tools that are already provided with us, and your own idea, to then lean into Jarvis and have him expand on this idea and help you build an outline out really fast. So it all starts really with what I found is the product description. So what I've done here to kind of like accelerate this is I've taken a product description I've already written about the topic of writing with Jarvis and doing what we're doing inside of the 7-day book challenge. And let's just say witty is the tone of voice, and you can kind of lean on Jarvis a bit here to help you with that product description if you don't already know what it's going to be. And this product description, for context, might be you talking about the description of the chapter that you're going to be writing about. So having an idea of, like, what's the title of the chapter that I want, and what's the description of that chapter that I can kind of build on top of. And so if you've got a good idea, and let's just say this is going to be the introductory paragraph for just like a really solid ebook that we're working on, we've got a description of the product here. Now what we want to kind of do is brainstorm what are some chapter ideas that I might want to check out with, and maybe I want to write a chapter on this. Maybe I want to write a chapter on this. And so you can see the blog post topic ideas, maybe reframe that to think this is a book chapter idea. Is like, oh, maybe there's an area in this book where I can talk about building a content funnel in less than an hour, because how do you do that with Jarvis? Or maybe it's the complete guide to writing a business book. Or maybe there's a chapter on how to choose the best title for your book. And so let's actually do that. Let's take the product description and the name of the product or company that I'm already working with, and let's go ahead and do this. We'll have this up here, and I'm really using this power mode as just kind of a way to, like, add in things that I like as I'm going through this writing process. And let's just say we're going to do, like, how to choose the best book title. Now, how do we turn this into an actual post, right? And so, like, let's just say this is the topic now, how to choose the best title for your book. So I'm going to do this here. Authors, let's just stay with witty, since that's where we're kind of at right now. How's it going, everyone that's here with us live today? Great to see you. Drop any hays or any questions you've got in the comments. I'll be here for just a few minutes. So let's see when we're bouncing ideas off of Jarvis for what's a blog post intro paragraph going to kind of look like. So, maybe I've got an idea in my head already for one, or maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just drawing a blank, or maybe I'm not really feeling a lot of brain power necessarily. And so I'm just kind of like pushing through Jarvis here and saying, give me something that I can work with. Give me something that I can kind of intro for this chapter idea for a book. So say, like, I'm building an outline, and how to choose the best title for your book is going to be chapter 1, chapter 5, or it's going to be a subchapter, right? I'm still going to need to write some content around that. So the title section here, rather avid leader, titles are a huge deal. Book title can make or break your book. There's likely ones. It's all about catching and intriguing without giving away too much of the story. So kind of like this one, short and concise. So let's add that one over here as the intro paragraph. And so, but now that I've gotten this, what I want to do is now I can take that, how to choose the best title with your book, and I can come over to the blog post outline and just, again, play around with Jarvis and see like, hey, based on how to choose the best title for your book, this is a catchy intro. Titles are a huge deal. Now the question is, these are the questions that now you need to ask yourself, right? Or you need to at least be thinking about when it comes to it. And so this is really where you could, like, I could write an entire ebook on how to choose the best title for your book, or I could turn it into a chapter of a book that's going to have a lot more things involved with it. And so imagine that how to choose the best title for your book is a chapter inside of the Writing with Jarvis book that we're working on, and it might very well be there shortly. So, here are some of the questions for how to choose the best title of your book, right? So if we're talking about what is the book about, who will be reading it, why should they read it, how does it compare, catchy and memorable? It's like, what is the book about? And so, but I think, where can people find out more information? What's the main idea for your book? Let's do this one. So this would be kind of like a good actionable worksheet or some like, here are some very like 7 steps how to choose a title for your book. Maybe we add like one more in there. What are the benefits of reading your book? So we have some issues with the broadcast right now, but hopefully it's still recording. I don't know if anyone can see some of the benefits of reading this book. Five. Ooh, that's kind of a bug, isn't it? 5. It's doing that. All right, let's go ahead and just keep it at 6, right? So for simplicity's sake, don't want to go on too long here. So let's say we've got an intro paragraph. We've got the main ideas for like step 1. What's the main idea of your book about? What are you trying to say with it? And now I can take this, what's the main idea of your book, or what are you trying to say with it? And I can actually go into the blog post intro paragraph and get some inspiration for how I can maybe open up this topic. The main idea from every book, I'm going to tell you a secret. In a book, you should share lessons, right? If I want to play around with just introducing and building off of these for each different paragraphs, I totally can, or they could be a lead into an exercise. It's whatever you want to do as the author of the book. But what I want to really wrap this thing and bring this thing up home with is the blog post conclusion paragraph. And so what we can do with this blog post conclusion paragraph is what are the main points that are outlined in your blog post? Say it's blog post, but maybe it's 5. Is there a specific time? Cool. And so let's see, call to action. Choose a title that's gonna stick with your readers. You can use all of this stuff in the context of how you are writing your book. But now we can just take a look at what the main points in the outline from the blog post was. We can literally take the outline that the blog post intro paragraph gave us. It's like, we wrote this book to make you think about life differently, or this book is for anyone who wants to learn about neuroscience, the book 4-Hour Work Week. I don't know. Some of these are just not anywhere near where I wanted to be. And some of them, they send it like, oh, wow, that's amazing. How did Jarvis come up with that? So let's give it a few goes. I want my readers to take away a message. So I want my review on it. Don't forget in emotions and praise, stories of hell. So again, Jarvis isn't going to write this entire thing for you. But Yeah, I think it's taking some of this stuff from like the World War era. So I'm gonna actually take away that. You see, like I'm mentioning stuff from like historical moments, and Jarvis is having some additional thoughts on that. Um, let's do this actually. Cool. I'm gonna try this out now and see what this kind of says, because if the conclusion of this is geared around why it's important to have a good title of the book, the conclusion paragraph, perfect, awesome. So a little bit of tweaks here, giving it a little bit of direction as like what the main points and topic is. And we see like the title of your book is the most important marketing tool I can see is make or break a book. So that's a little bit repeating that. One of the most important aspects of the title, the perfect title, motivational, fear of public speaking, all these factors going on. Service. You're choosing a title important, a great title, convey the message you want, catching different triggers to buy it. You have to come up with a perfect title. Don't hesitate to reach out to us to brainstorm with you. And that might be the call to action. The conclusion paragraph. So like a lot of books, what you'll have is a, like the introductory, this is the story of how I learned it or earned it. You'll have like a core, like, hey, these are things we're going to cover in this book. And then you're going to kind of close out and say, all right, choosing the right book title is important because of all these factors on here. Maybe add in a little bit of extra flavor with your own, your own sizzle or whatever right down here. And then here are the action steps for you. Steps, brainstorm a title idea, do this. All right. Now, once you've got a title, let's move on to, building the outline of your book or something like that. And so I think this conclusion paragraph is a really great way to kind of wrap up these thoughts, but especially when it's used into that kind of topic ideas, get your in general product description, your info about what you're writing about, how to choose your title, why it's important. Here are some of the, the ways that you can, start to use, really get down and understand what your title is all about. And then, concluding it with the help of Jarvis, and then providing some action steps, and then moving on to the next chapter and the next chapter. And if you had 7 chapters already lined out in your head, you could build those all out in here, or perhaps what you'd want to do is have each one of these be like a specific chapter. But yeah, hope that was helpful on the blog post outline paragraph. Drop any comments or questions you've got below. And thank you so much for sticking with us and watching. Cheers.